The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Now broadcasting from the Right to Offend Media Studios in sunny South Florida, bringing you the latest in politics, current events, art, and pop culture. This is the Whitfield Report Live with Sam Whitfield.
But giving offense is good. In fact, it's essential.
Alrighty, everyone. Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of the Whitfield Report. This is a bit of an impromptu show here, so apologies for things being a little sporadic. I usually don't do like a waiting screen, but anyway, welcome to the program. Merry Christmas Eve to all of you watching this live or listening and or watching this in the past, present, future hour. And if you're listening on Spotify, you are most likely watching and or listening to this on Christmas Eve. So welcome to the show. Ladies and gentlemen, I was going to pre-record this show, but I felt compelled for a few reasons to do the show live tonight, which I really do on Mondays, but I felt compelled to for a few reasons. Mainly because Wednesday is Christmas Day. And, with that being a holiday, I'm obviously going to be celebrating with my family, as are Mort and Max. And it's true, we are a kind of a late night show here. But I'm not going to make them, work on Christmas, and I'm not going to make myself work on Christmas. So I figured we would do a live show tonight, and Wednesday is a holiday show, and if you're really compelled to listen to the show on Wednesdays, for whatever reason, maybe it's just a routine. We have a lot of episodes to choose from, and so have at it if you really feel like hearing my docile tones. But anyway, I wanted to do this show live also because Christmas and Christmas Eve, they hold a very special meaning in my heart. Christmas has always been a very magical time for me, a time of celebration, of family time, of being grateful for everything that God has given to me. Of course, if you're a Christian, it is a time to celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ and the hope that he gave to the world, and the goodness of humanity. But it's also the time of year where I reflect on the year and In particular, this year, this is the last year before I turn 30. This is the last year. This is the last Christmas of my 20s. And honestly, it's a little surreal, honestly. It wasn't that I ever thought I wouldn't make it to 30, but when you're 20 and when you're 18, 30 seems, really far off. And when I was 20 as well, 9 years ago, my uncle passed away. In fact, today would have been my Uncle Gary's 73rd birthday. And I know that a lot of people out there are having trouble. Maybe this has been a horrible year for them. And maybe this Christmas season isn't the best for them. Maybe they're not feeling in the Christmas spirit. I get that. I've been there. I was there 10 years ago. It wasn't a jolly Christmas for me. I was in mourning then, and even today, 10 years later, I'm not exactly in mourning, but I still miss my uncle dearly. And I'm sad that he's no longer here. But Gary meant a lot to me, and what you have to understand, folks, is when I was younger, and when I mean younger, I mean in my teens and early 20s, I wasn't fully confident in myself. It wasn't that I had self-esteem issues, because that's not quite the correct term, because I did have self-esteem, but I didn't have confidence. I lacked confidence in my early 20s. But the other thing I've always had is drive and determination. Now, as many of you know, I started this program when I was a teenager. I'm one of the OGs of podcasting, and I don't say that to brag, but I started the Whitfield Report, first as the Whitfield Analysis when I was 13. And so by the time I was in my 20s, I was kind of feeling like, well, I've done this for a while. And I love doing it, but I'm not really, I've been doing this for a while. When is my big break going to come? I was feeling antsy. There were a lot of people, even in my family, who weren't really supportive of the podcast. They thought I was wasting time. They didn't understand what it was. Some of my more liberal family members, even thought I was, going off the deep end into a right-wing, radical conspiracy. And this was even before Donald Trump ran for office. This was around like 2014, 2015-ish. And yet my Uncle Gary, who, by the way, he wasn't a lefty. Certainly not, but he was a liberal hippie back in the 60s. He protested against the Vietnam War. And what's interesting is I think now he and I would see very much eye to eye on things. He did become more libertarian, I think, as he got older. And I'm not sure if he would like Trump, but I certainly think he would understand more of why I like Trump now. But irregardless of that, I remember one of our last conversations that he and I had was him telling me over the phone or over video call. I remember him looking me in the eye and really telling me that, Sam, you really, if you want to really pursue this, radio / podcasting thing, I'll support you, but you really have to give it your all. And you really have to be confident in yourself and don't try and please others. Don't try and make other people happy. Have the confidence in yourself to do this. And he was really adamant about that, folks. And I remember that now because as I reflect back on the past decade and really this year as a whole, this last year for the podcast has been absolutely amazing. And I am just awestruck, really, at how much this program has succeeded in just the last year. And a big part of that is due to the team that I've had around me to help with this show. Max, Mortheous, Maxine, and Penn, the sandwich makers. Shmuley, even though he's more of a background guy right now, he's been fantastic. And all the people in our Gilded server as well. Excuse me. The author community that I've associated with in the last year, many of whom have appeared as guests on the program multiple times, even Eric Bishop, Steve Stratton, Terrence McCauley, Jeff Clark, Zach James, W.S. Wentworth, Luke Gozich, Nathaniel Hummel, and John Guinieri, Jake Widmer. I know I'm forgetting a few, people, and I apologize. But all the authors who I've associated with and who have really believed in my brand as an author, you guys all mean the world to me. The Right to Offend Media team means the world to me, and this audience, the people listening right now, and the people listening to this in archive. you guys mean a whole lot to me. And this is the first year, to be honest, where I finally feel like, I don't want to say I've made it, but I feel like all the hard work that I've put into this show for the last 17 years, almost 18 years come March of 2025. I feel like all of the work is finally starting to pay off, ladies and gentlemen. And, you know, as I said, it's not just me, it's the entire team. It's taken a long time, but I finally feel like I'm starting to build the brand that I've wanted to, and I don't want to jinx myself. There's still a lot of work to be done for Right to Offend Media and for the Whitfield Report and for the country as well. That's another area where I feel very vindicated in as well. But, you know, I don't want to make this too political of an episode tonight. But long story short, I feel very, you know, accomplished this year. And I just really want to thank everyone who has supported me this year especially. And to everyone who is already gearing up for the show in 2025. We really have some exciting stuff to, you know, share with you in the new year, and I can't wait for it. As I said, I'm just so grateful for everything, because there were times in this, not necessarily this year, but there were times in the past where I wasn't sure if doing the podcast would be worth it, and yet it's starting to pay off. So just thank you, everyone, for your support and for you know, your patronage and for buying the books and everything. Speaking of which, you know, the days are counting down, folks. Christmas Day is Wednesday, but you still have time to pick up the Shadows of Deception saga. All 3 ebooks are $2.99 each on Amazon right now. You can also buy the paperback and hardcover editions as well, but those will likely arrive after Christmas. And you can also buy Blood Ties for $2.99 in ebook and paperback and hardcover as well. So again, thank you to everyone who has supported my work as an author, and can't wait to share more of my creative works with everyone in 2025 as well. There's a lot more coming. So, folks, speaking of audience gratitude, though, and whatnot, and just gratitude for the country, I do kind of have to go on a little bit of a rant here, because despite it being the Christmas season, there are doomsayers, particularly in the conservative media sphere, who, despite Trump winning and despite a new administration coming in and the fact that, woke culture is dying and sanity is coming back to the country, despite all of that, you still have fearmongers and grifters out there saying that Biden is going to do something horrific, and that it's going to, the country's going to be fucked and damaged before Trump can even get in there. Right? That somehow they're going to overturn the election. And, there are people out there who just decide to be negative no matter what, folks. Well, I'm very optimistic about the future of the country. We've talked on the program, before with not just Max Mortheous and I, but also guests like Gabe Icaboni and Adam Hill. We're all very optimistic about the new incoming administration, right? But let's just say for the sake of arguments, that Trump lost the election and things were looking dire and things were looking, pretty desperate. Let's just say that Kamala, quote unquote, won the election in November. Obviously, things would be, difficult. Things would be, challenging, to say the least. But I would still not give up on America, folks. And I never have. I've never given up on the country. And I played this clip on the RTO Christmas special, but I want to play here, folks, because I think a lot of conservatives need to hear this. Because even though I reference Rush Limbaugh a ton on the show, there's nothing quite like hearing from the man himself. And, most people might not remember this. Some people have forgotten this, but Rush Limbaugh actually did live past 2020. He died, unfortunately, in February of 2021, but he lived, unfortunately, to see Trump lose. But even after Trump, had the election stolen from him in 2020, Rush refused to give up on the country. He refused to be a pessimist. And as I just mentioned a minute ago, I see a lot of fearmongers and, quite honestly, a lot of grifters, still fearmongering and, spreading panic despite the holiday season. To those people, I would say shame on you. But more than that, folks, I want to play this clip from Rush's Christmas Eve show from 2020, which actually aired 4 years ago today. Because I think it really sums up my attitude about American optimism in general, and the belief that America is a force for good and really a force for optimism. If there's one show that is really fundamental to the DNA of the Whitfield Report, it's Rush Limbaugh. And if there's also one thing that I learned from Rush, it's the importance of American optimism. So I'm going to go ahead and cue this up for everyone. And I'm not going to play the whole speech like I did on the Right to Offend Media Christmas special. I'll play this end clip, but I definitely do think, ladies and gentlemen, it is worth watching the whole thing if you get the chance, especially since it is, the holiday season, and Rush talks a lot about, what Christmas means to him. So here's Rush. Let me get this queued up. Here's Rush talking about the, not giving up on America during the Christmas season and what the holidays mean to him. Let me cue the clip up. And, okay. So, clip number 1. Let's go.
The alleged president-elect Joe Biden holiday message: our darkest days are ahead of us. Well, for some of us, that's absolutely true. But folks, I have to tell you, if I were president-elect of the country, it's the last thing I would say. And even if I believed it, I doubt that I would put it this way. But I don't believe this anyway. Darkest days are ahead of us. What a bleak way of looking at things. This is during a press briefing yesterday. Said the worst is yet to come in the fight against the coronavirus pandemic. Which is weird, given that Biden has repeatedly claimed that it's Trump who's killing Americans with COVID. And so Trump's going to be gone soon. So why are our darkest days ahead of us when Trump is leaving, if Trump's responsible for all of this? But my point is, yeah, the virus is what it is, but we adapt. I talked about this yesterday. We Americans have adapted to our problems. We've adapted to changing evolutionary things in our lives, in our country, because of our freedom. Our freedom has allowed our adaptability. If disaster is coming our way, we don't just sit there and endure it. We come up with ways to avoid it, to beat it back, to overcome it, but we don't just sit there and accept it. And as such, we don't just resign ourselves to the fact that we're living in the darkest days, because we, at least to this point, still have the greatest degree of freedom of any people on earth. Now, it's under assault and under attack, and we all know this. But I don't believe our darkest days are ahead of us. I never have. Like people have been asking, you've always told us it'd be time to panic. Well, it's never time to panic, folks. There's never, ever going to be time to give up on our country. It'll never be time to give up on the United States. It'll never be time to give up on yourself. Trust me. So we're going to do a real program today. And in the process of the real program, I'm going to be sharing the thoughts I want to share with you today. I'm going to just do it
So that is Rush Limbaugh. Those were some of his last words on air, ladies and gentlemen. It'll never be time to give up on the country. And that's very true, ladies and gentlemen. It will never be time to give up on the country. I truly believe that too. And that's what kept me going during the Biden years and also during the Obama years. And it's great that Trump won. We have a lot of work to do, but things are looking optimistic. And just in our own circle, quick little announcement for those who missed it on the sandwich makers the other night, but apparently when we did the White Christmas for Autism charity stream, someone in the course of the program, I don't even know who it is. Max is the only one who knows who it is, but apparently one of our listeners donated $5,000 to the Society for Autism Research, and just based off of our stream, and that's amazing. And we might not have the largest, listenership ever. I'm certainly no Joe Rogan, but our listenership and you guys, ladies and gentlemen, you're amazing. That happened because of this audience. And again, just thank you for all your support. Speaking of people who support me, Mortheous has decided to jump in here and join the program.
Good evening.
Welcome, sir. How are you doing?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Merry Christmas Eve, Eve.
Merry Christmas Eve to you as well. Two cripples roll in front of a camera.
Well, only one cripple rolls in front of the camera.
Okay, fine. Two cripples roll in front of mics.
Well, yeah. But anyway, I don't know how much of the show you've caught more, but I guess my ass is being a little, sentimental tonight. It's honestly kind of amazing to me, at least, how much just in a year Right to Offend has grown, and
we've definitely grown in the last year.
Yeah. So I thought I would just take this opportunity to ask you, what are some of your it doesn't have to necessarily be from Bits and Bones or from this show, but just any moment. What are kind of your highlights of the year, so to speak, for Right to Offend Media?
Well, me personally, I'm kind of on the shy side until I get to know people. So getting to know the entire crew and then gradually become somebody that, quite honestly, wouldn't interrupt you or Max on the show. Well, won't put up with fucking Max's bullying anymore.
Well, yeah, that that's good. That's good as always. Sometimes we have to, tard wrangle a giant.
Yeah, we do have to tard wrangle the giant because he's a retard.
So on occasion, and yeah, I will say, I mean, I've
and also watching and hearing Maxine go at the giant is hilarious.
Oh yeah, totally. Well, I think you and I have known each other for like closer to 2 years, or is it 3 now? I can't remember.
I would have to go back to the DMs, but it might be closer to 3 at this point.
Yeah, because I met you through. For those who don't know, ladies and gentlemen, I met Mortheous through kind of
Through Twitter, Craig.
Yeah, through
Not Dr. Craig.
through Horny Craig, not
Yes.
engineer Craig, and also for those who don't understand, who follow us, like Horny Craig is actually, that's a bit that he's I almost hate to have to spoil it, but
Well, it's half a bit and half Craig. 'Cause there's definitely a bit of truth to that, but it's definitely at least a good half bit.
yeah, I mean, there are some stereotypes that are true, and the stereotype that I am convinced that the stereotype that the U.S. Navy is the horniest branch of the military is absolutely true. But that's another subject for another show. And honestly, like, I actually think Craig would I think Navy Craig would be great to have on here at some point, honestly.
I would agree.
But for those wondering, like, in a nutshell, that's just kind of how Mortheous and I met. And
Because I think what it was is I was giving Craig shit for his horny shit, and you, as always, we're defending the Navy veteran.
Well, because I actually thought, in all seriousness, like, at first I actually thought that you were kind of being like, actually, like, mean to him at first, and I'm like, oh, it's a bit, and then not just that, but it's like, holy crap, I found the other based cripple man.
Facts.
I thought I was, like, for a long time I thought it was the only one. And I have to say, like, one of my favorite moments, not even on air, but one of my all-time favorite moments with you was when you and I were, I remember exactly what I was doing too. I was actually at home playing The Witcher. This was right after Biden, like, failed miserably during that debate stream.
That was hilarious.
And your BFF, old Brian Krausenstein, he was hosting an X space, I guess is what they're called now, and he was saying, well, Biden's performance wasn't that bad, and I got up there and I was like, I started to say something like, well, Brian, can you admit that Biden has cognitive issues? And before I even got that out, Brian booted me off the space, and I believe you were there for that too. So, like,
I was.
So for me, getting booted off, of Krausenstein, space is a win. Brian still follows me, and
The Krasensteins just prove day in and day out why they don't come on the ready shows usually, because they're bitches.
Yeah, and I mean, I've invited them. The one conversation I have had, the one time where I actually did talk to Brian, like, he was actually, I hate to say this, but I hate to say this because of the merch meme, but he was nice to me. But
lefties do that?
well, on occasion. I don't think he really knew who I was yet, though, too. So maybe it was that. But I mean, as I've said, the Krasniks are more than welcome here, and I've invited them. They just
Please, Brian, come on.
yeah. Please, Brian, come on. I promise you that Mort won't. Well, I can't promise you that Mort won't tell you to eat shit. Towards the end of the stream, I can promise you that Mort and I will both at least start out having a good faith conversation, as long as you have a good faith conversation with us, sir.
I will have a good faith conversation with either Krasnodine when they start having good faith conversations on fucking X.
Yeah, well, I think you and I have a better chance of getting up and like walking like completely normally without any assistance before that happens.
Yeah, probably.
So, anyway, though, yeah, that was. I mean, there are just so many great moments that I like I said, I'm just kind of like really humbled and like honored too by just like how much support Right to Offend has gotten in just the year. And I don't know if you heard I don't know if you heard this news, but apparently someone donated $5,000 to the Autism Society.
That's awesome.
After our stream. Max knows who it is.
But he's not telling.
I suppose I could get like Maxine to bully him, and well, honestly, like I think we could waterboard him, and he wouldn't even tell, who it would be. But
I have a suspicion, but I don't want to name the person.
Yeah, I have a suspicion as well. I do know it's an author, and I think they've been on the program before. But and I don't really care like who it is. I think that's kind of
Right.
the point of it being anonymous. But regardless, I mean, they were really impressed just by our Christmas time stream, and they felt compelled to donate. And people who are mainly grifters are like, oh, well, you guys don't have any viewers on Rumble. Well, we don't buy bots for any of our channels. So like our reach on Rumble is
Number one, we don't buy bots, and just going off the bits and bones situation since I've taken over from Core, I can definitely see some growth. It's slow growth, but it's definitely growth.
Yeah, it's slow growth. We definitely get more archive viewers on this show, and then like honestly, our most amount of live viewers honestly is on
Probably the girls' show.
at least for Rumble. But what I was gonna say though too is like as far as this show goes, because I do simulcast this on X, and that's actually where we get the most of our live viewers.
That's cool.
Sometimes we get up to like 300 live viewers actually. Now, of course, with analytics, like what is a view, too. But hey, we're growing.
Is it 10 seconds? Is it 30 seconds? Is it a minute? Who knows?
Yeah. But across the board, we're growing, and it's been a real honor, to work with you.
You as well.
And if the
And-
giant
and
were,
if I'm being completely honest, I wasn't sure I was going to podcast again after my wrestling podcast exploded.
yeah. Well, if it makes you feel any better, the Whitfield analysis back in the day, it exploded, and so I rebranded the Whitfield Report. Like I rebranded to the Whitfield Report 10 years ago, and
And really, exploding, I guess, really isn't the word. It's just we just stopped doing the thing because one of our co-hosts stepped away for personal reasons and just never picked it back up again.
yeah. Well, pretty much everyone, myself included, back during the next gen conservative days, we all went off to college and kind of started. We kind of went our own separate ways just because that's life. But now my friend Jason, who I don't know if you've met him, but he actually watches Bits and Bones.
Nice.
Great guy. He's actually having his first kid.
That's cool. Congrats.
So congrats to him. Now the pressure's on me to find a woman and get married. And although my poor mother has been pressuring me to do that for a couple of years now. So, but who knows? Maybe I'll be luckier in my 30s than I was in my 20s. One can only hope. But other than that, everything has been going good. Everything's been going great.
Yeah,
So,
as far as that goes, I think I've resigned myself to being the quote-unquote cool uncle from here on out, unless I get lucky.
well, sir, you're now officially the cool racist uncle. If you saw the meme I
saw.
and by racist uncle, that just essentially means like the politically
Just right wing.
yeah. Yeah, you're you're the guy basically holding you're the guy holding CD Project Red to the holding their feet to the proverbial fire.
I would think it's kind of my job to do so, considering how much I've banged on them and sang their praises over the years. It's now time for me to hold their asses to the fire for doing stupid bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this in regards to CDPR. I mean, and I do mean this generally. I am glad that they actually did commit to like restoring Cyberpunk 2077 and actually
Same here.
fixing the game. I don't begrudge them for that at all. And
other developers would have just up and abandoned the damn thing.
And also for bringing Keanu Reeves into the world of video games. That was super cool. So
super cool, and honestly, Phantom Liberty is a great expansion.
Yeah. But I'm not I don't want to say I'm not optimistic, but like I'm really not all that excited about Cyberpunk Orion just because of the little bit I've heard it's it's a little troublesome from what I've heard.
I'm not excited for Cyberpunk Orion, and I want to be excited for The Witcher 4, but there's at least two people they need to kick out of the fucking company before I can say, okay, things are going to go in the right direction.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that because I feel the exact same way about DC comics, and it's funny I didn't get a chance to mention this on Thursday's show because of all the technical issues we had, but I suppose this would be a good time to ask. Have you seen the new Superman
I have.
trailer?
And setting Henry Cavill to the side for a second, it wasn't a bad trailer.
Right. I think we have to set that aside. I actually love the trailer, to be honest. Especially,
I didn't see an issue with it.
especially because like I'm a sucker for dogs, and so I've always loved crypto, and I'm glad that they're bringing crypto into the DC universe, and like also expanding the DC universe, and like bringing the Green Lantern Corps into things.
I agree.
With that being said, like this is one of those things where I'm like, hold on a sec, this trailer was really good. So does this mean the movie's going to suck? Because like I remember being like super hyped for the Batman v Superman trailer when I first saw it, and then same thing with the Justice League. Like it wound up. I actually don't hate Batman v Superman as much as some people do, but let's be honest, like it's not great.
Right, and as far as watching good trailers, at this point, I'm at the point where, okay, trailer's good. When's the shoe gonna drop?
Yeah, that's me. That's me. Exactly.
Because I really want, again, going back to Witcher for a second, I really want to be cautiously optimistic for The Witcher 4. But
yeah,
the lore designer openly hates gamers and wants to punch them.
Yeah. Well, you'll be.
Oh, and he used to be a quote unquote games journal, and when he was a games journal, he bitched about gamers giving a shit about being lore accurate.
Yeah.
That's not somebody you put in the position of fucking dealing with lore.
Yeah, but that's the same problem that Eon Productions has had. And for those who don't know, Eon Productions is the studio that has made the James Bond films since the beginning. And one of the reasons why it's been revealed that one of the reasons why Daniel Craig's Bond was killed off was because one of these feminist writers who hates the character of James Bond somehow got in there, and basically it was her decision to kill Bond off, because Bond is not only an example of toxic masculinity, he's the epitome of toxic masculinity. And I know you don't follow the Bond lore as much as I do more, but there was an article in the Wall Street Journal, I think it was like last week, where basically Hollywood is not really happy with the Broccoli family right now, because basically Barbara Broccoli basically told Hollywood to go fuck itself.
That's
and
awesome.
that James Bond is going to continue to be a straight male who
That's good.
I think and the Bond fandom doesn't really blame the Broccoli's. I think the family knows that 007 fans weren't happy with seeing Bond killed off. Nor were they happy with the woke stuff that kind of got put into No Time to Die. It wasn't as bad as people thought it would be, but they still didn't like it. So people always ask me, when are we going to get a new James Bond film? And the answer seems to be, ladies and gentlemen, when woke finally dies out officially, I think that's when they want to wait to do a new James Bond film. So
Hopefully, with Donald Trump winning the election, woke dies sooner than it probably would have if fucking Kamala won.
oh yeah, for sure. For what it's worth, ladies and gentlemen, like I do think Henry Cavill would still be a good James Bond, but he is getting up. He is getting up there.
Blasphemy, sir.
I mean, well, that's not just me saying that. That's your friend Gen X gal who's saying that about Henry. I don't know. I think Henry deserves at least one Bond film. Can we get that at least? I mean,
That'd be cool.
I mean, George Lazenby did On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and he only did one Bond film. It's the best, and it's one of the best ever. And also, yes, that is a Christmas movie. Fight me about that.
Gotta be honest. If Henry Cavill was Bond, even for one movie, it's a movie that I would probably have to go see opening weekend at the theaters.
Oh, well, I have to go see Bond in the theater anyway, but I mean, yeah, definitely.
Right, but me as a casual fan, I'm more of a I want to see Henry Cavill do good things fan.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think Henry would be great. I know some of the Bond fans are skeptical, but he looks the most accurate to like how Bond was described in the books. Actually, him and Pierce Brosnan both. So, why are we still debating this? People are like, oh, well, there's a younger guy who could be better, and I'm like, really, who? And then they can't name it. So
and that's the thing. We had the same issue with the Witcher fandom when he was initially announced for the Netflix series, myself included, questioned if Henry could do Geralt. Well, let me tell you, he proved us wrong. He was a fantastic Geralt of Rivia.
Yeah, and I wasn't even that much of a Witcher fan when the first season came out. Like I hadn't even played the game until I met you, but I do remember like I would see photos and whatnot, right? I knew enough about the Witcher that when I knew that when I saw Henry, I saw him and I was just like, hey, that looks like Geralt. Yeah, and he even sounds a bit like Geralt. So
yeah, honestly, he turned a lot of us fans around as soon as he proved to us fans that he also was a fan of The Witcher, and we're like, okay, good, let's go.
Yeah. Also, and I don't know who would consider this a negative, but like there were rumors for a while that he was dating Gina Carano, and you know what? Usually I would be jealous, but all I have to say is if that's true, good on you, sir. So
you know who would see that as a bad thing? Motherfucking feminists.
Oh yeah, they hate her ass too. Literally,
They probably hate her ass for fucking digging into Disney too.
Oh yeah. But that's another like our network isn't like big enough to get her on, but if she's willing to come on, would love to have her.
That'd be awesome.
So but anyway, what are your plans for Christmas, sir?
Well, my family does Christmas Eve, so I've got a busy tomorrow because start off. I have a follow-up appointment with the doctor for follow up from my issue back over the summer, and then get back from my appointment and go right off to my mom's house.
Well, the latter part of the day sounds fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because it's going to be my mom, stepdad, and the four of us kids, and the little nephew, and we're going to spoil that little boy.
I'm looking forward to seeing how your brother likes his Christmas present,
Me as well.
which I would show on camera, except for the one copy that I have is actually my mom's copy, and it's under the tree.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, and as I mentioned before, like all the ebooks are on sale. So if you need a last minute Christmas gift, you have until 11:59. Actually, you probably have a little more on that depending on which time zone you're in, but you definitely have until like
They usually have till like 2:59 a.m. EST because they usually operate on California time.
yeah, it's like I believe the sale goes until like 11 p.m. Pacific time. So I mean, you definitely have time to pick up any of my ebooks for $2.99. So, and I appreciate the pocket money that people have been throwing my way to get those. So, yeah, but that'll be fun. My family, we don't do much for. I shouldn't say we don't do anything for Christmas Eve, but we usually have a dinner and watch It's a Charlie Brown Christmas on Christmas Eve.
Nice.
Christmas morning, everyone will open presents, and we're having a ham for Christmas this year, and then we'll probably watch another Christmas movie. Unfortunately, my mom didn't want to watch Die Hard this year. She's sick of it, so I had to watch it on my own. But I had to watch Lethal Weapon on my own this year, and yes, that is also a Christmas movie. You know what I did watch last night, which is a movie from my childhood, is Elf with Will Ferrell. And yes, I know that Will Ferrell is an annoying lefty.
I've tried watching a bunch of Will Ferrell movies, and I just I can't get into them, unfortunately.
Neither can I usually, but maybe it's just because I was a kid. But like Elf is actually like a pretty. I mean, it's a kids movie, but like
Right.
it's one of those few Christmas kids movies that is actually like good, somewhat still. Maybe it's just nostalgia though.
Yeah,
Anyway,
the nostalgic Christmas movies for me are the Tim Allen Santa Claus movies.
oh yeah, those two. That's actually probably what we'll end up watching on Christmas Day, honestly, because yeah, Tim Allen is a national treasure. Also, fuck Disney for canceling him.
Facts.
Just because he's a Christian conservative. He's not even that outspoken about it either. That's the thing. So
He's just not a crazy ass lefty.
yeah. But
I'm not sure how familiar you would be with this there, Sam, but up here, at least up here in the northeast, we have this thing that we call the seven fish Italian Christmas dinner, where we have at least 7 dishes that include some form of fish. So that's what we do tomorrow night.
Oh, nice. Oh, oh yeah. So your family is like actually like authentic Italian.
Yeah, authentic Italian as Italian can be for the Northeast. Absolutely.
Yeah. See, see, my mom, like, she's Italian on her dad's side, but like she's actually like, well, she's a Lithuanian on her mom's side. So like,
Nice.
yeah. So like, yeah, which means I'm part Lithuanian too. So yeah, like we've done the full on Italian Christmas, but we haven't in a while. And we will be doing like baked pizzelles for New Year's Eve though. That's our tradition. So
Nice.
fried dough. But we will have one show before New Year's, I believe.
We'll also be doing another issue of Bits and Bones on Sunday as well.
Yeah. Actually, and actually on that note, our first live show of the year on Wednesday will be on January 1st, most likely. So
That's cool.
But anyway, one more do you have any final thoughts or?
No, I just wish you, your family, the Giants family, and everybody at Right to Offend Media, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Even though we'll be talking between Christmas and New Year.
Yes, and I would echo that sentiment. And again, folks, to everyone who has been supporting the show.
Thank you to the fans, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you to the fans. Like I said at the very beginning of the show, you guys really have no idea how much this means to me personally. Week in and week out, how many of you guys have supported us. I certainly know, at least for me, there have been times where I've been down, where I've been having a bad week and doing the show and just seeing the support and the positive feedback from you guys has made my day and made my week. So
Same
again,
here. Positive feedback from the shows was great. Thank you, everybody.
yeah. So again, Mort and I are, and I think everyone, but I certainly know that Mortheous and I are just really humbled and grateful for all of the support that you all have given us this year. And, we plan on giving you more shows in 2025. So stay tuned. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's a good time to say Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. And we'll see you before the end of the year here on the Whitfield Report. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
The right to offend is not some pesky little part of freedom of speech that we have to put up with. It is the heart and soul and lungs of freedom of speech. It is the coursing lifeblood of human progress. It is the instigator of liberty and modernity and science and understanding. What a laughing stock today's student leaders are, that they can so casually dismiss the right to be offensive without realizing that their lovely, enlightened lives are the gift of individuals who gave offense. Offensiveness is not just something we have to begrudgingly accept. Offensiveness is the motor of human progress.
Thank you for watching the Whitfield Report live on the Right to Offend Media Network. Make sure to check out Sam's books on Amazon, Audible, and Kindle. You can follow Sam on X at SamW_NGC and the Right to Offend Media Network at RTO Media. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. And until next time, God bless, God save this great nation. God, freedom, legacy, in that order.